you know, I'm gonna say it, even if it's considered a controversial opinion, which I don't think it is. But 2020? 2020 was a pretty shit year. I'd hoped to have released more stuff at university whilst I was away, but then the country decided to go into a national lockdown. And then I got put into a Tier 3 lockdown, and then a Tier 4 lockdown. And then recording videos became very hard and stressful, so I kind of just gave up with it. But now, I'm back here, which means I can continue to not be motivated to upload anything. Regardless, I hope everyone had happy holidays and aren't too disappointed to see me crawling back into their subscription box on January 1st. I know it's not a good sign of things to come, but it's not a good sign of things to come. Although my upload schedule is usually quite inconsistent, what is usually rather consistent is my sort of end-of-year videos, which I usually upload and then promptly delete because they're usually shit and put no effort into them whatsoever. But this year, I'm going to do something different. I actually wrote a script this time. This time around, I'm going to be looking at all of my uploads from 2020, as well as a couple from 2019 that sort of bled in to the new year. But in all seriousness, 2020 has been quite a hard year for a lot of us to be alive in. Many of us have lost a lot of loved ones and not been able to see many more, and it's been a shit time for everyone. I think we can all agree on that. And the only thing that I hope to achieve with this video is to sort of lighten the load on a lot of people and sort of, you know, show them what I've been doing throughout the year, as well as, you know, hoping 2021 can be a lot better. However, with the vaccine rolling on its way and a lot of things in politics getting slightly less fucked up, we can hopefully put behind this fucking shit year and hopefully look to greener pastures for 2021. But for now, let's take a quick trip back to 2019. Following the departure of the ENT Horse series with the Media Studies coursework, I decided to sort of change my attitude towards the degree that I was working on after it came back with a D. And I decided that the way I would do that was with pigeons. It began with a flippant comment by one of my classmates who I'd left in the dark as to what I'd actually done for my coursework, and he flippantly replied, "Oh, what, so have you done a documentary on pigeons or something?" Boy, the can of worms he opened. And so for my formal assessed piece of Media Studies coursework, I decided to make a documentary on pigeons. I somehow managed to convince my teacher that this was a serious piece of work that I was making, and so after that, filming began in the summer. But that's where I hatched a cunning plan. For in secret, a second cut was forged. A cut to rule them all. It was about 10 times as long as the one I'd end up handing in, and is possibly my magnum opus of a video. It's quite a sight to behold. The actual serious cut of the coursework would be handed in around December time, but because of 75% of the class not handing anything in, because they hadn't fucking done anything, it was extended to January time, which meant that I had more time to basically refine it and, you know, actually get feedback from my teacher on it. Would have been nice the first time round, but I'll take it. And so, on January the 18th, Pigeons, a Jerry Jackson documentary, was uploaded. Also, do you guys remember when, like, the near outbreak of World War III was the biggest world news of 2020? Yeah, me neither. Fuck slimy, greasy alien Boris Johnson. Commies, racist, Nazis, fuck the SMP, that's fuck TERFs, and fuck coronavirus.
Who the hell is Y. Isaac, and why does he keep asking?
And now we get to arguably the only 2 good months of 2020. February 2020 would see the return of Phlegmcore with the single Yeah being released, which was a warning and threat for things to come. At the time this was mostly considered just a single, but it would flourish eventually into something so much worse. You know, pre-COVID 2020 was quite a, cute thing looking back on it. You know, I had all of this ambition and motivation. No, I didn't. Yeah would serve as the penultimate video on the channel, at least for the time, with British quarantined court proceedings being the final video for the next couple months. I can't imagine what happened to cause that. To be honest, it's a video I've had probably the most fun with. It stars Y. Isaac returning in his role one last time as the drug kingpin and war criminal Humpty Dumpty, as well as, being improvised. So I didn't have to write a script or edit anything. Around this time period, before the world went to shit as well, I also managed to get my 18th birthday party, which, looking back at it, was a pretty bittersweet time. I wouldn't be able to see most of my friends and family for a very long time after this, and yeah, in general it was just sort of the calm before the storm, quite literally.
This is the rhythm of the night.
And now we get to the bit that everyone both remembers and doesn't remember about 2020. The virus. Over the quarantine period, I made 3 videos. Only one of them got made. The reason why the other 2 videos didn't get made is mostly because the files on my SD card corrupted as I was making the video that actually went up. And you know what? I'm pretty proud of the video, I think. I left a lot of the recipe ambiguous or out of the recipe itself because I wanted people to experiment with and sort of adapt their own recipes out of it because, that'd be pretty cool. And it was only supposed to be quite simple things. I'm already working on the second one, and hopefully in the future a third one will be made when I have more than 4 recipes. I also teased at the possibility that it's canon in the ENT Horse universe, but I can neither confirm nor deny this. It's also, like, high-key when my hair was the best. I mean, it is the best, but... And now for the big part of the channel's history this year, which will probably go on to define the rest of the channel's future. And that would be Flemcore. This year, the channel would be heavily influenced by Flemcore, with, like, the most consistent upload schedule I've ever had between September and November, with, like, 5 videos produced or something. That's, like, unheard of for me. That's insane. Absolutely fucking insane. How did I do that? I don't even know. But it happened. So let's take a little trip back to April. Me and Y. Isaac were both in lockdown, really bored, and had a lot of bad stuff going on at the time. I won't get into much of it, but on top of quarantine and other stuff, it was a pretty bad time. All of this boredom coupled in with basically no content led us to sort of decide to create and forge Flemcore anew. But this time, horrifically, instead of it only being condensed to 4 or 5 songs, making an album. Initially, progress was understandably quite slow because we had to work remotely from our homes without actually meeting up in person to sort of sort things out. And for context, this was my microphone at the time. Overall, we got about 3 or 4 tracks started on, with others currently in the works. I mean, for me it was the most productive time of the lockdown. It wasn't for him because he was recording his own feature-length fucking album, but that's neither here nor there. Fortunately for us, during the summer lockdown, restrictions began to get eased, and we were actually able to meet up in person again, and this is definitely where the real work began. We recorded vocals, guitar, electric guitar, unplugged bass, sexual eating of muffins, kazoos, harmonicas, ocarinas, and also a lot of tasteless and tasteful auto-tune. so much tasteless and tasteful auto-tune. It was also around this time that we decided to include Yeah on the track, because fuck it, why not? Let's just fucking get on with this. And so, by the time of Y Isaac's release of his debut album, Go Stream, work was done. We decided to keep it under hush for a couple of weeks because I had a very, very special date planned in mind. So to tease a possible return to Flemcore, we decided to create 1 or 2 videos beforehand. The first one being a music video for an old song on one of the EPs with Steve involved, this mysterious new protagonist, as well as some found footage including him as a possible adversary. And then we released just the one Gek actually. And so, on September 11th, 2020, as I was driving my way up to university, just the one Gek actually was dropped. I scheduled the video to release at a specific time because I was driving my way up to university, so I wasn't able to upload it manually. So you can imagine my surprise when it got 300 fucking views. That's almost as much as Harmonica Death Metal and Nativity 3 Dude Where's My Donkey review. What the fuck? Out of all of my videos, I still can't believe that it was those 2 videos that got like more than 10 views. And so on the 2nd of October, the full album was released with an interview of the 2 artists in between them. The album itself was released on YouTube, Spotify, and any music streaming service you can imagine. I still really love the fact that we got it published, because it means that at some point, someone at the publishing company that I used to go through it would have had to have listened to the entirety of Flemcore, all the way through, to give it the green light and go ahead. And you know what? If that poor soul was the only person that actually listened to it in the end, I would be a happy camper. I was planning on releasing, I think, 3 other videos around this time after the album, but I sort of, well, for one, didn't feel like it was a very good time to get focused on that because, well, I'd just moved to university. But also my old computer decided to pack up on me and my editing software just went to shit. So I just couldn't. That's my excuse, I swear. And so I basically went the entirety of university without actually making any content. I was technically at university by the time Flemcore went up, but yeah, it was pretty quiet, all things considered. Until Christmas came, where I decided that it would be great to record a Christmas song. Because if anything else, what is Flemcore other than a parody and tongue-in-cheek of itself? And what we created was an absolute hate crime. And so yeah, that's pretty much my uploads in their entirety of 2020. If I had to review the year, it would get an ungraded, because if only a 1/12 of it was even close to bearable, then I never want another year like this. All I'll say is that I'm loving university right now. I'm hopeful for the new year and my upload schedule because I've got a lot of backlog of unedited content that I now have a swagger-lacking new PC to actually edit on. So to everyone, I sincerely mean this when I say have a happy year, have a happy January. I hope you had an okay December. And here's to 2021. So, this next segment is directed more towards 2021. Now, 2021, I get it. By the time this video comes out, you're only a day old. It's fine. I get it. You're allowed to make mistakes as you go on. And I get it. You're going to have some fallout from last year. But before I'm going to say what I'm going to say, I'm just going to touch some wood here. Okay. Alright. And now I'm going to give you some advice on how you can be better than your predecessor. The bar is so low. So unspeakably low.